Welcome back, everyone. Shiz here, and I am back in again to give you guys another fresh look, courtesy of my friends over at Hasbro. We're totally checking out their brand new Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms. This is DRIZZT and Guenhwyvar. Gwen. We're just gonna say that. I watched a bunch of videos. I'm not familiar with Dungeons and Dragons. Let's say specifically DRIZZT. I know it. I've seen people play it. It's very interesting, and I think this box really encapsulates it. Love seeing Dungeons and Dragons at the top. Really nice reflective foil elements to it, especially on the back. You'll see the design in just a second, but I like that they kind of did this because it's a really big sleeve and it pulls right off and you get to see the full figures reveal. Nice set right here. Nice background, nice little backdrop of like a snowy village. That's cool. I like that. You get to see DRIZZT and his panther and all the weapons and everything else that comes with it. So it looks great. It's a nice little gift set for someone that's really into Dungeons and Dragons and really cares about this character. In the research I did, I mean, people are crazy for this character. So it's really cool that they actually made a 6-inch type figure out of him. And on the back, again, you get to see the artwork for the box. It's him versus a giant, let's say, ice dragon. Help me out in the comments below. Look at this as, I'm not going to make fun of this in any way, of course, but help me to understand. The research that I did wasn't always too clear. I know that DRIZZT is from a series of Dungeons and Dragons books, and it's been ongoing for quite some time. I believe the 80s, sometime in the 80s. So lots of stories involving this guy. He's actually a pretty cool character. He totally reminds me of Vampire Hunter D, and of course most recently with like the Netflix Witcher series with Henry Cavill. That's who I can really think of it. Other than that, Thor, Dark Elves, magic in general, Lords of the Rings, things like that. So it's an interesting take, look, and I'm happy to check this character out. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee. This is a look at the brand new Hasbro Forgotten Realms Dungeons and Dragons DRIZZT and Guenhwyvar action figure box set. And while I got you guys here, I just want to say thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. And if you're a big fan of, let's say, retro action figures, Toy Biz, things of that nature, I think you're going to like it around here. I also do daily news updates, especially over my Instagram, pre-orders, all that jazz. So be sure to check it out. Do the whole liking and whatever else. Anyways, let's talk about this. And of course, here is DRIZZT and the Panther and everything else out of the box. And you do get a number of different accessories and little bonus pack-ins of some Dungeons and Dragons cards, which the artwork is very cool, very updated. And I totally dig it. I mean, it looks great. That's some fantastic looking artwork. The one drawback I will say is that they're very much just paper. I think it would have been cool to get some cardstock going on, but the artwork is killer. I love the little floating head dude with all the things. I know what that character is. This guy looks like a big roided out Ninja Turtle. On the flip side, you get some, I'm assuming, elvish writing, some other kind of worldly writing, so that's cool. Spells, something like that. But the main attraction is, of course, the 2 action figures that you get, the bevy of accessories that all make sense for this particular character, and a very nicely sculpted figure along with his pet panther, Bagheera. He does come with an interchangeable head, which is also painted nicely as well. So let's go ahead and look at the articulation and show them off individually, starting off with this extra head portrait. Again, painted well, head's got a nice wash to it, gives some detail, gives a little grays within the white. Purple around the eyes, he very much looks like that dark elf sort of deal. He also comes with a panther statue as well. I'm assuming something that has to do with Guenhwyvar. It's nice. It's cool. It fits in his hand, which I'll show you in just a second. Nicely detailed, nicely sculpted. He comes with 2 extra hands. One of them is like, say, a panther holding hand and then a fist. So that's nice. 2 swords. This one has some nice blue sheen to it. The blade is painted nicely. The browns around the handle is painted nicely. Very well done, I have to say. Nice design, especially with the second sword as well. Lesser paint, we'll say, with this one, but nicely done. Nice blade, nice handle to it. These ice effects, I'm assuming they're ice effects or wind or whatever, but I think they're ice. They're very cool. They slip over each sword and they kind of clip on and they're great. They look good, especially in kind of having some sort of motion or element to them. You can see they stay on very, very well. It does make the sword heavy in his hand, and then of course you get the die, which I've never had one of these, so that's actually a cool little packet. I'm glad that they did that. Articulation-wise for DRIZZT, just, you know, I love the windswept hair. That gives some dynamic posing, and it works well because you got a more solemn, non-windswept hair. So it works in that sense, especially for battle poses. And when you look at artwork for Dungeons and Dragons, you know, it's always some kind of dynamic pose. The cape is nice. He is actually really well painted. There is maybe one or two little slip-ups here and there, but it's overall very nice. You can take the head off easily. You can pop the cape off. The cape is like this rubber, and it works well. Yeah, sure, cloth would have been great, but it works nicely. He also comes with this necklace sort of band thing, and I have it around his neck. Again, if this is incorrect, you could tell me in the comments below, but it fits nice for what I see it as. And we'll take the cape off to show the articulation proper. And the head, the more solemn, poised head, just kind of pops right on, and it looks good. The hair doesn't really get in the way of articulation, anything else, so it kind of drapes over the back. It's nice. I like the design of this guy. He's just very cool, very eye-catching. Reminds me of Marvel Legends, totally. A lot of rubber, a lot of stuff that makes the articulation better, like the spikes on his boots. He's been in Hot Topic lately, right? Articulation-wise in the shoulders, he will swivel at the bicep, at the arms. He does have butterfly joints, so that works as well. You do get some range of motion out of it. I wouldn't say it's like crazy, but you do get double jointed elbows out of him. His wrists will spin and they'll rock, which, again, if you're a big stickler for articulation, you're going to like this figure. It seems like he does have waist, but mine is not turning, as you can see. Also, he has a nice ab crunch. You go down, he'll go back, and it looks nicely. All of it is which is hidden. A lot of that pinless tech within this figure. Double jointed knees. He's got thigh, nice ankles, rock back and forth. They go up, down. These little pieces right here are rubber, and they all work nicely. This is a really nicely designed figure. I have to give it to him all the way. Even for someone, you know, like me, not knowing much about this in particular character, they did a great job in terms of fitting everything. I really like the weapon storage on the back as well. That's something I look forward to a lot of figures, you know, keeping the weapons all nice. Both the swords fitting correctly. For my instance, I don't think you can swap them. Each sword has its own particular sheath. So in that sense, it's awesome. But I'm going to go ahead and switch the heads out again and show you that right here, if you go to put the hair while he has his little cape thing on, the hair fits in right underneath it, fits well, and it looks great. It looks like artwork. So they did a knockout job, fantastic all the way, and he poses nicely, and he looks good in the sense of, I like a box set that it shows a very complete character. I think the faces are done nicely. They're executed well. He holds the weapons properly. The cape work's got a little bit of emotion to it. The hair, again, being windswept. The effects on the swords, he holds them nicely. Now, it does make his wrists and his arms a little bit heavy, where you'll kind of get some droopage in the arm. That's one thing. But pose him correctly, however you want to do it. He looks epic, and he looks like he's ready for a battle. I could see them releasing a giant monster. The little holding hand for, let's say, the little panther statue, that looks great. That's like a, here, take this on your quest sort of hand. That's how I see it anyways. The die, yeah, you can hold the die if you really wanted to do that. I'm actually pretty stoked about that. That'll go in the little collection next to him, so I'm digging that as the pack-in. As far as Guenhwyvar goes, this is cool because this is an articulated animal, which we don't see a whole heck of a lot of. The tail is a separate piece right in the box, so you pop that in, but you get some nice motion out of it. It goes up, down, left, right. Not segmented, but just right there towards the butt where it meets the tail. He does have a lot of articulation in the head, the neck, all separate pieces right here. See, that'll swivel. This will turn the head individually. His mouth opens and closes. That's like a home run to me. That is perfect. You want to see a panther figure, the mouth can open and close. He's got upper diaphragm rotation for a panther, however you would say that. The leg on this side goes back. He'll twist more towards the knee, the haunches. his feet. He does have paw rocker, I guess you could say. In the front, he has a little bit of a swivel. It kind of goes out a little bit better. And then all the articulation there. That's one thing over the Masters of the Universe, the new Battle Cat. I wish he had paw articulation, and this one totally does. So the mouth is crazy. I love that. I think that came out so fantastic. And again, much like DRIZZT, he poses nicely. Now, this is really where I would extend it to posing this panther. Putting him on his hind legs, yeah, you can do that if you like, but just in terms of getting him kind of crouched down, getting ready to strike, batting at an opponent, something like that, I think it looks good, and he displays well with DRIZZT. This is a nice set. If they never made any other Dungeons and Dragons figures, I think this would look good. Yes, he can ride the panther. I don't know if he actually does that, but you could do it if you wanted to. I don't know. I thought that was the first thing I thought of. In terms of scaling, he's right around the Marvel Legends height. He's at that 6-inch. He's taller than the Ghostbusters figures from Hasbro as well. As far as G.I. Joe, let's say Cobra Commander, yeah, he's just a smidge taller. He is taller than Transformers Red Optimus Prime, right around the same heights as certain Star Wars characters, so they all kind of fit in. Thor, though, that's where my attention kind of goes to, putting him with all the different Thor characters. I think he fits in really nicely, and I think you're going to have a great time sort of posing him. If you're a Marvel Legends collector, this might be a good dark elf sort of character. Yeah, you could put Deadpool on the Panther as well. So that's really going to wrap it up for my look at the brand new Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms DRIZZT and Guenhwyvar figure, and thank you again to Hasbro for sending this over to give you guys this fresh look. You can grab him now on HasbroPulse.com if you want to get him. They probably want me to tell you all that. Yeah, buy the figure if you want him. I'm going to tell you this. I don't know about this character, but this is a really nice looking figure. The Panther is nicely articulated. The figure is nicely articulated. All the accessories make sense and they work. So in that sense, yeah, I do recommend this if you can use it for, let's say, Marvel Legends, or if you're a huge fan of Dungeons and Dragons, or you know someone in your life that really likes it as well. It would make an excellent Christmas gift. I can totally tell you that. The cards, let's say just the figure aside, the paint is good, the articulation is good, so I have no problems with that. The cards are kind of a disappointment. They're just paper. I really wish that they were more like cardstock. That'd be cool to put a card or kind of use them as a backdrop, you know what I mean? These will blow all over the place if, you've got a wind or something like that. So a little bit more heavy than the cards. I'm talking about the cards other than the figure. Anyways, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk everything Dungeons and Dragons, especially this figure. Did I get a whole heck of a lot wrong regarding the lore of this figure? Comment below. We can talk about it. To be honest with you, kind of like the reverse, when you get a new Marvel figure or something like that. I'm actually interested in knowing more about this character. He looks cool, and it'd be kind of interesting to know just a little bit more about Dungeons and Dragons, especially if they're going to be producing more. So we will see, but I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, when life rolls those dice and whatever you're dealt, make sure to meet it head on, and apparently have a Panther cohort to, help you battle it, or whatever Dungeons and Dragons has taught me in the last couple hours. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.